Hi, everyone. Hold on, let me just put a timer because when I'm a bit stressed, I talk a lot. So I'm really lucky. I didn't have to go after Heinz because he made a joke about crypto, but today I will talk to you about crypto. So honestly, it's a real blessing to be able to speak to you because I was not supposed to be here. I'm replacing someone. I will tell you a bit in a moment why, but first, let me introduce myself. So I'm Stéphane Montlouis-Calixte. So the first T that you see there, it's a trap. You don't need to pronounce it. So it will be Stéphane Montlouis-Calixte. I'm French. I live in France right now. I'm a software developer. I've been building applications since maybe 15 years. And right now I'm doing mobiles, but basically I'm touching everything, mobile, web application, design, 3D stuff. So I'm doing all those kind of stuff. And then I'm 35 years old. I'm married with a little daughter, a 4-year-old, and a baby coming in January, thanks to God. So pray for your brother. And I live in Haute-Savoie, so it's next to Geneva. So basically, I will live in France, and I will just cross the border to be able to work in Geneva. And I'm working at Decaf, which is a global decentralized wallet. So it will be much more clearer later. I will talk about it today. So a bit of a story time, or more like a testimony time. So the story will be about how God guided me step by step through my side project, what I was building, my passion, and eventually led me to Decaf, and also led me just here. So everything started basically from a frustration. When I was 25 years old, so 10 years ago, I got baptized, I got really born again. Basically, I grew up in the church, but I really met the Lord, have a personal relationship 10 years ago. And I wanted to build applications. This is what God inspired me to do. And it was a really lonely path to be able to be fair with you. Because the thing is, when I was studying the Bible, all the resources that I could find were in English. The French word is quite, I will not say really poor about that, but there was not a lot of resources. And even in English, for example, hands up if you know about strong words, if you heard about it, if you know about strong codes or strong words. Okay, not so, okay, let me explain you what are strong codes. So basically, it's quite simple. A long time ago, there was a man named James Strong. He created a system that will give every single Hebrew and Greek word in the Bible a number. So for example, you will have there H, which will be Hebrew, 430, so it's the number. You will have Elohim, and then you will have the definition, and on some websites, you can listen to the pronunciation. Maybe some of you know Blue Letter Bible and some application like that. So I really like to study with that kind of lexicon. For example, I will give you a little example. When you have Genesis 4, verse 2, Eve talking, and she again bare his brother Abel, and then Ecclesiastes with Solomon talking vanity of vanities, you will see that those two words have the same roots. So basically, you know that in the Bible, people were naming their children according to some intentions and prophecies. So you cannot kind of understand and go deeper in the meaning to see maybe how Eve was seeing her son after she brought Cain, she brought it with the help of the Lord or something like that. So you kind of understand. And then you will have also the classic one, John 21, verse 15, when Jesus, when he got resurrected, and he said, "Do you love me more than these?" And Peter said, "You know, Lord, that I love you." You will see that the first one is talking about agape, which is deep love. And the second one is more about liking, affection. So basically, do you love me in a deep sense? And Peter will say, I like you, I affectionate you. And you can understand why in the third time, Peter will cry, because Jesus just say, do you like me? And Peter cried, and he said, yes, Lord, I liked you. So it's kind of profound. So that's why I created the first app called Bible Strong. Basically, the fact that I really like what Joshua was saying, basically the fact that innovation is using existing resources in new ways. So basically my role was just to aggregate data together so people can study. So basically you can study with the lexicon, you can study with the Westphal dictionary, with the Nave Topical Bible, and having theme with a lot of verses. You will have cross-references and also commentaries. So it was first in the French region. People kind of liked it. And I had some English friends when I was living in New Zealand who told me, well, why don't you translate your applications? So this is what I did. And the thing is also the application is really used in African French countries because the application is fully offline. So people really like the fact that they will download first a lot of gigabytes of data, but they will be able to use the application anywhere. So it's like a Swift knife tool, if you can say like that, so really aggregating a lot of data. And then in 2023, when there was more technical advancements in the AI field, I know that people ask me, well, Stéphane, why don't you give us more audio Bibles? And it was quite challenging because in the French world, there is maybe Louis II that someone has been doing some audio work maybe 20 or 30 years ago, so it's not a very good quality. And for other versions, there is no audio existing, so I thought about creating an application called AudiBible when you can just using AI, text-to-speech, to be able to translate all those Bibles that don't have audio, and you just want to listen to it and have a good time listening to any version that you want. So I've been building all those applications, and meanwhile, I was, how to say that? I was wondering, well, how can I be useful for the kingdom of God? And God put something in my heart, a bit of, in the start of this year, he told me that I needed to do more, but I was not really understanding what he meant because I was working full-time in Geneva, and then I have those applications, and then you have your wife and your baby, and you're trying to to make a sense of what God is calling you to do. So at some point, I will tell you a bit about the journey to Decaf. What happened is that during that time, so start of January, there was my wife's mother. She was there to visit the country and to spend a little time with us. And I shared with her this issue that I felt that God was calling me to something, but it was kind of weird. I didn't know what it was. And I don't know if you can relate, but it was on a Sunday, right? There is this kind of, I will not say stereotype Caribbean grandmother, but let's say that when you will ask for something, on the next day at 4 a.m., you hear someone singing and praying really early in the morning at 4 a.m. and you know that I knew that she was praying for me on that situation because she took it very seriously. And on Wednesday, God already answered the prayer. So let me tell you about what happened exactly. So during that time, I was sharing all the applications that I built on Twitter, and there was this little guy, Kwan. He's from Decaf, so basically he was following me, and he was like, okay, Stéphane, I really like what you're doing. Can you show me your code so I can see it, etc.? So I'm like, yeah, no worries. I can give you access to my code, and then you can look around, and then we can discuss about it. And then on Wednesday, a few weeks before that, he told me, well, let's meet on Wednesday because I'm having a bug, I'm having an issue, and I need you to help me. So basically, I said, all right, no worries. So on Sunday, we were praying, and on Wednesday, time for the meeting. And during the meeting, there is this little guy also, and I'm like, why? Like, there is 2 people to fix a bug. I mean, there is something shady or something really I don't understand. And basically, he told me, well, I fixed the bug, so it's not about a meeting for the bug, it's a meeting because I want to hire you. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You don't know me, we never like really discuss. Why do you want to hire me? And this guy is not a Christian, but I'm sure that he will be soon, because the way that everything happened. And then basically, and he was like, well, I see what you're doing, I've seen your code, I read through your code, and later, when I will be working at Decaf, sometime I will, I will work in the application, and I'm like, I know this bit of code. This is mine. So that's funny, but yeah, so basically, he's been through my code, he's been reading, and like see what I was doing. So this is the first time in my life that I've been working for someone without any technical interview, without any he just trusts me really blindly, and I was not able to understand the why. And basically, Scott was there too, and we were discussing, and he told me about Decaf, and he told me about crypto. So the first thing that came into my mind was, this is some scam, some shady stuff. I don't want to work for this guy, because when I heard about crypto, yeah. And something that I learned after that, and this is when I talked to you a bit later, that I was not supposed to be here, is that Rick is the CEO of Decaf, and Rick is getting married with Fernanda, so this week. And basically, when I started working a few weeks ago at Decaf, a few months ago, sorry, he told me, well, Stéphane, there is that thing in Christian Vision, and basically we just like employed you, so why don't you go because I can come. So this is how I just jumped here, but it was, I believe it was for the best. So let me tell you a bit about Decaf, so about what is cryptocurrency. So basically, at first, I really didn't get all the whole crypto thing, because it looked for me a bit like speculation, hype, people trying to get rich overnight, NFTs, and you know all the deal. And it was not, it looks more like gambling for me, so I couldn't see a real purpose in it. No mission, no impact. And when I'm building something, I want to build something that have a sense that is helping, like in the kingdom of God. So I stayed away because it was not connected to my values. But little by little, I start to learn the good side of it. So basically, crypto, it's just money and data that will live on the internet without needing a bank or a middleman. So this is something that we call a blockchain. So basically, what is a blockchain? It's like a public notebook that everyone can see, but no one can erase or fake, so it will allow people to send value anywhere in the world. So it's about transparency and access. But with just crypto, you're going nowhere because you still have the issue with fluctuation and going up and down. So there is another thing called stablecoin. So basically, stablecoin, this is where everything will make sense. It's a digital currency that's designed not to change in value. So it's backed by real money, like the US dollar or the euro. So basically, one stable coin equals $1. So it will still live on the blockchain, it will still be decentralized, but unlike Bitcoins or other tokens, what will happen is that it will stay stable, it will stay the same. So I think that maybe you know where I'm going with it. Basically, it's changing everything. We can do stuff that we call on-ramps and off-ramps. Basically, people can move easily between crypto and real money. So let me give you some real case, because with that, you understand what Decaf is. Decaf is a global wallet using stable coins that will enable anyone, anywhere to send, receive money without banks or border getting in the way. So I think that with just the definition of what is happening, you understand how God led me and answered my prayer about making more sense in what I was doing. I was working in Geneva, which is great, but I wanted just to have a full-time working for the kingdom. So I will give you some example. So Paimana, she is an Afghan woman trapped in the mountain outside Kabul. She fled the city when the Taliban took control, and now she lives hiding with her younger brother. There are no banks, no jobs, no way to receive money. So her sister, which is refugee in Mexico, she sends her small remittances through the Decaf wallet, directly in USDC, in stable coins, and then she can access the money and cash out via something we call MoneyGram in neighboring regions. So those funds are her only lifeline covering food, medicine, and emergencies. And before that, remittances used to take 3 or 3 days and cost around 40 or 50% in taxes. And sometimes they didn't get through and they will be returned. So in that kind of sensitive moments, it was a matter of life and death. I will give you another story. So Melo, basically, it's a Christian missionary pastor, who travels regularly to Afghanistan and neighboring countries to support small faith-based communities. So traditional banks have flagged or blocked his transfer to the region, making it impossible for him to fund his missions. So what happened? With Decaf wallet, he now carries the financial freedom, so whether he was in Pakistan, Turkey, Afghanistan, he can receive donations through USDC and convert them to cash within minutes. And the most interesting one for me, at least, will be that institutional case. So in 2025, so not long ago, there was the IAS, so it's the International AIDS Society, the team that runs some of the biggest HIV conference in the world. So they had a big challenge. So basically, what happened is that they needed to send daily allowances to 247 scholarships recipients coming from over 50+ countries, including many places where banking isn't easy. So everything was done in cash. The staff had to fly with envelopes full of money, spend hours just to get what was theirs. It was stressful, slow, and not very secure. So the solution, basically, they decided to try something new, to move from cash to crypto, and this is where Decaf came in with Stellar. I will talk about it a bit later. And they managed to pay everyone. So how it's working, basically, IAS will convert funds to USDC via NOAA, which is a liquidity partner. Basically, you have all your dollars, all your money, and you will convert a lot of money to USDC, crypto stablecoins via NOAA. You will just upload the recipients' links to the SDP, which is the Stellar disbursement platform. So basically, it's a platform on the blockchain to be able to send multiple recipients. And then each recipient will get an email with a Decaf wallet link. And funds will arrive instantly in their wallet. You can either cash out via MoneyGram, you can do a bank transfer, and right now you have we built a new feature. You can also use a virtual card on Decaf, so you can spend your money with your crypto wallet in USDC anywhere with Visa, anywhere where you want. So, and we have the results. So 427 payments were processed, 50+ countries reach, and 100% delivery success. No queues, no delays, no cash handling. Everything was done perfectly, thanks to God. And there is a little testimony, Martina saying, I had no idea what stablecoins were before January 2025, but now I can't imagine going back to cash. So what did we learn today? We learned that crypto can save lives when it's used with the Holy Spirit. And basically, when I look back, when I think about this situation, I realize that most things that God will be doing in our life, they will start small, not especially a big plan or a big something with a massive team, but they will start with just a spark or a frustration. For example, for me, it was the fact that I couldn't find a good Bible app that was like working for me. And I started with something small. I built Bible Strong. It wasn't about scale, but it was much about faithfulness. And God started to scale it himself, not only with marketing or anything, but through purpose. And this is what is amazing. And funny enough, Decaf worked exactly the same way. So I will give you a secret, but it's not really one. It's on the About page. But the secret is that Decaf means decentralized coffee. Basically, the idea was quite simple. They were thinking like, what if two people could buy coffee together without a bank between them? So it's kind of simple, it's my idea, but when the purpose entered the equation, that simple idea met something more global, and it became something much bigger. So today, you will have Decaf helping NGOs, sending scholarship, freelancers get paid, and families will survive in countries where banks don't work. So what started as a simple coffee transaction became a global tool for freedom. So God will not just scale numbers, he will scale impact, and this is what it takes to build in faith beyond what we can imagine. So if there is one thing that I've learned from this, it's simply that don't despise small beginning, because for me the path to go where I am today was really lonely. In France, as a software engineer, I spent 6 years building applications just because like I was led by God, but I wouldn't like be able to. I was not like I could not know that I would be there today. And because in God's hands, a small line of code can change lives across the world. So thank you.